Hello, dear friends. I hope you all are doing well. I welcome you all on the Padai Se Dosti YouTube channel. In today's video, we are going to see a very interesting concept, that is the international dateline. So, why this international dateline is required? What is exactly international dateline? What are its application? What is its significance? Who decided the international dateline? There are many questions in your mind. Okay, so all these questions will be answered in this video and upcoming video series of this particular topic, that is the international dateline. So let's start. So there are some questions before we start our topic. So which meridian used to determine the world standard time? That is a GMT, global meridian. Okay, so so what is this world standard time? So it is a 0 degree prime meridian. Okay, so that particular meridian passing from Greenwich, which is a town located in London city of United Kingdom, right? So that considered as a meridian to determine the world standard time. Then which meridian determines the Indian standard time? So it is 82 degree 30 minutes east meridian. Okay, so that is particular longitude in passing from the middle of India, okay, vertically, from Mirzapur town of Allahabad, today's Prayagraj city. Okay, so that is answer for this second question. And what is the time difference between the GMT and IST? Means global meridian time and IST. It is Indian standard time. So if you see the difference between these two particular meridian, this is 0 degree meridian and IST is 82 degree 30 minutes east meridian. So the difference is 82 degree 30 minutes between these two, right? And if we multiply it by 4, then we will get 82.5 multiplied by 4. So it is around 5 hours 30 minutes. Okay, means 5 6 are 300 plus 3 330 minutes. So that is a exact difference between the GMT and IST. So I know all these questions are answered for you, the answers for this, but we will discuss what is this GMT, what is this IST, why it is defined. Okay, so all these questions we will discuss thoroughly in this chapter. Before doing all this question and analyzing all the tables and all these things in this chapter, I would like to introduce about the international dateline, the core concept of international dateline. So we will cover all these things afterward. First, we will see the international dateline. So what is the international dateline? ये देखते हैं पहले. Okay. So you all know that this is our Earth. Okay. So we have the geoid shape of Earth. Means it is a bulky at equator and it is somewhat flattened at the pole, that is the North Pole and South Pole. So it is not exact sphere. It is a geoid shape, right? And to demarcate the location of location on the Earth, to have a better management of time, means traveling and all the time related to different forecasting and all these things, we need a standard. We need a certain standard to define a particular time, okay, in particular time zone. So that's why this international dateline is defined to decide the time zones of different country, because the longitudinal and latitudinal area of many countries is vast. Okay, so if you consider the top 10 countries as per their area in the world, they have very vast longitudinal extent. If you consider Brazil, it is almost 3 hours difference between the eastern and the western part of Brazil. If you consider the USA over here, it is almost 5 to 6 hours. The Canada almost 7 hours. If you consider the Russia, the biggest country in the world, it is almost 11 plus hours, the eastern and western part of that particular country. So that's why we need the different time zones, and this time zones is based on the concept of international dateline. Okay, so let's see the international dateline. Our 24 hours day starts at 12 midnight. Because of Earth's rotation, midnight occurs at different times at different places. Okay, you all know that Earth moves from west to east like this, right? So what happened? Half part of the Earth is in front of Sun and another half part is away from the Sun. So the part is in front of Sun, that get on that part we will observe the daytime, and exactly opposite to this there is a night time. Okay, suppose there is a Sun over India. So if you observe the America, which is exactly opposite to the India, suppose this is America, then if you move it from 180 degree, you will find India over here. India, China, Japan, all these countries. Okay, so as we move from west to east, each country coming in front of the Sun. Okay, so that's why we can able to find the different times of starting of a new day at different places in the world. Okay, as the earth is spherical in shape, it is not exactly spherical as I have already told you, but for our ace, or for simplicity, we are considering is spherical. Every place has a place to its east. Okay, suppose if you consider Mumbai, then suppose you consider Kolkata, then it is toward the eastern side of Mumbai. If you consider Chennai, it is the eastern side of Mumbai. Okay, here you can see on the map. Suppose this is Mumbai, here it is Chennai, here it is Kolkata, here it is somewhere here Bangkok, here it is Kuala Lumpur, right? Then you will find here the Beijing, here you can able to find the Tokyo, right? Here the Sydney, here Melbourne, Sydney, Canberra, right? So like that, likewise you can find each location towards the east or the west of some other location. Here if you compare Sydney and here Chile, the capital of Chile, that is Santiago. So that Santiago is also on the eastern side. Then it is a very big question mark in front of us, that which place consider the first place to come in front of sun. Okay, so to decide that, we have demarcate one line on the globe, and which we designate as a international dateline. Then at what location to the east does the day start on the earth? To get an answer to such different questions, too many questions like this, representative of many nations got together under the leadership of American professor Davidson in year 1884. Okay, and decided on the international dateline. The line drawn opposite to Greenwich Prime Meridian, that is with reference to 180-degree meridian. It is an international convention to change the day and time while crossing this line. Okay, so what is the meaning of this particular para? So it is a very tedious task to get the knowledge of each time zone or the local time of different cities in the world. It is very inconvenient for people who are traveling from one country to another country to get match with the time of that particular local city in that country, right? So that's why it is a very necessary to have a international standard to define the time. Okay, local time as well as international time zones for different countries. Okay, that's why these international datelines come into the picture. So the representative of all the countries in the world, they gather together under the leadership of this American professor Davidson in 1884, and they decided some standards, and that standard is known as international dateline. Okay, and this dateline lies where? So it is exactly opposite to 0-degree prime meridian. So all of you know that this is a London city. There is a one small town Greenwich near to this city, and the line, vertically imaginary line passing from this city and connecting the North Pole and South Pole, that is a 0-degree longitude, is considered as prime meridian. Okay, and exactly opposite to this prime meridian, if you complete the circle like this, okay, so exactly opposite to this, there is a 180-degree east longitude over here. See, there is 180-degree eastern longitude passing from this North Pole to South Pole like this, as my cursor is moving from over this globe, right? So this is considered as 180-degree line or longitude. Okay, so it is an international dateline designated by all these team members, right? So it is an international dateline to change the day and time while crossing the line. Suppose you cross this line from India to USA. Suppose you are moving from India to USA on Monday. So if you cross this line, the day will remain the same. Okay, but if you are moving from India to USA from the western side, means suppose you come from Mumbai to Dubai to somewhere here. Okay, suppose in Paris, from Paris to New York over here, right? So you have to minus one day from your day of journey, the start of your day of journey, right? So in this way, this calculations related to international flights and all the international travel transport done based on this international dateline, right? So you all are aware about the longitudes, right? There are 360 longitudes and 181 latitudes. Latitudes are the angular distance, line joining the equal angular distance around the earth. Okay, so equator has a zero angular distance from the center of earth, so that is a biggest latitude. Okay, that latitude has a highest length. Okay, circumference is the highest. As you move from equator to the pole, the length of that particular circle goes on decreasing, and at a pole it will remains only as a point. Similar thing happen as you move from 0-degree equator towards the south pole. Okay, and longitudes, they have equal length, they are semicircular like this. They have equal length, but they are not parallel to each other, and they meet each other at the pole. Okay, so in this way, there is a graticule, the wave-like structure, imaginary wave-like structure around the Earth, and that will help us to decide the different time zones, the prime meridian as a reference, then international dateline to calculate the different time zones and uh, timing of arrival and departure of flights from different regions, right? So we have discussed all these things. Then an attempt has been made to make ideal pass through Pacific Ocean completely. Why it is so? Suppose this ideal international dateline passing like this. So it is very horrific. Suppose someone is living in Mumbai and someone is living here in Vishakhapatnam. So the person who is living in same country has a different day in country, so it is not possible na? So that's why it is very inconvenient to have office timing, to set office timing, school timing, railway timing, and all the things, okay, all official work or the entire thing. So as there is a very less landmass in Pacific Ocean, so that international dateline passing from Pacific Ocean deliberately for our convenience. Okay, then had it passed through land or some islands, right? So here you can see there are some small islands, nations over here, and that line passing from the middle of that island. So it is a very horrific that on such a very small island, suppose that line passing from uh, any place, and there is a settlement just toward the east and west of that particular line, then that particular settlement does not observing the day and night as we are drawing the line from that particular settlement, because if that area is in front of sun, means entire island is there in front of sun. So if there is a sunrise uh, on any part of that particular island, then the entire island, means the eastern and western side towards this international dateline, is a shiny or it is in dark condition. Okay, so we we have distorted this international dateline as per our convenience like this, but majority of this international dateline, it is overlapping on 180-degree meridian. Okay, so you can see over here there is a small distortion over here for our convenience, because there are small island groups over here, and they people don't want any what we can say inconvenience to have local time in their country. Okay, so that's why this line is distorted over here. Had it passed through a land or some island, the people there would have had to follow different dates and timings, because dates would have been different on their eastern and western parts, right? Also it would have been different to know when when one crosses the ideal on a land and when the date changes on calendar, right? So it is a very difficult and tedious thing. Therefore ideal is not a straight line like 180-degree meridian. It at places it turns east, while at another places it turns toward the west. Suppose here it turns toward the east, here it turns toward the west, again it turns toward the east, here it turns toward the west, like this. The ideal has been changed as and when required. The last change was made in 2011. Nevertheless, maximum part of ideal coincides with 180-degree meridian. So in this picture of globe, you can easily observe the international dateline. Okay, and exactly opposite to this 180-degree meridian, there is a 0-degree prime meridian. Okay, so based on these two lines, that is a international dateline and 0-degree prime meridian, we can do calculation of time zone for each and every country in the world. Okay, so this is a very important topic. So today we have discussed the concept of international dateline. Okay, what it is, who defined this international dateline, and why it is required. Okay, so the need of this international dateline is because of the rotation of the earth around its own axis, right? And because of this rotation, I have already told you that half portion of the earth is in front of sun and half portion is away from the sun, right? So on the half part there is a day condition, and on half part there is a night condition, right? So that's why we need this particular dateline to have convenience in our tourism sector, transport sector, communication sector, and all these things, right? So that's why we are studying this international dateline. So in our upcoming video session, we are going to see all the minute details related to this international dateline. Okay, definitely we will see all the questions, all the exercises, all the small tasks in our upcoming lectures. So stay tuned with this series and enjoy your study. Have a great day. Bye bye.